Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here with today's live. We are featured on YouTube and over on Facebook in my group. And today we're going to be playing with a new bundle. It's actually out of our new catalog. We have the new mini coming out tomorrow. Let me see if I can get that over there. There we go. This is our new mini catalog, and you'll notice that beautiful card on the front. That's the bundle we're going to be playing with today. And then also tomorrow, they're kicking off a new celebration. So there's going to be some free stuff you can earn as well. Oops, lost my cursor. Let me get over here to where I can see your comments. There we go. Hi, somebody didn't share their name with StreamYard. That's the new program. So all I see is Facebook user, but welcome. Hi, Melinda. These are our two cards. This is one of them, and it's using the smaller windmill. And then I did one with the larger die cut windmill. And they're both pretty simple in that they just take a standard card base. I did an 8.5 by 11, cut in half, scored in half. And it got me the two card bases. One's going to go landscape and one's going to go portrait. So it's just the same cuts. We're just flipping it on end. That's going to give us the two things. And then my inside and outside are both basic white, 4 inches by 5.25. So let me bring you down to my desk and we'll show you this wonderful new bundle. So here's our cards. A little closer up view. And then this is our stamp set. And one of the reasons I'm doing it is you kind of look at these and you're going, okay, how do I line those up? That's why we're doing our live today. I'm going to show you how we line those up. And then we also have the dies that coordinate with it. And there's two different sizes of windmills. There's the little one that matches the stamp that comes in the set. And then there's a larger die cut one, and we're using both of them today. So, which one to start with, huh? So fun. Okay, let's start with the little one. I went ahead and I stamped the windmill, and then I went ahead and die cut it out. So we have that there. Then I have our card base, and we'll need 2 of these white layers and our stamps. So I have these already lined up on our blocks. This one's actually using the I block, which is the larger one. I use this other one a lot, the H, but we're actually using the I because this stamp is quite a bit bigger. Stuck at home in the snow, huh? I feel that one. We have not had this much snow since I moved here. This is ridiculous. We have snow everywhere, and apparently more on the way. This California girl is having some problems with that. So we're going to line them up this way. The first time I did it, I started from the bottom and then went this way. And I thought, wait a minute, all my tops are not, they're not ending up in the right spot. So what I figured out was it goes the other way. So we're going to start up here with our first one. And we're going to start with the long, double thing. So that's going to be our first stamp. I'm going to go ahead and do that in Poppy Parade. So there's our start. Then I'm going to take this other one and I'm going to set it right in the middle. See, so we're just putting the 3 points together. And you might think, well, that's going to give us room for 1. No, it's actually going to give us room for 2. So we're going to do 2 more colors. I'm going to bring in my Simply Chamois, clean off so that we don't get red ink into our next ink pad. I also tried to get it off there quickly because the red will stain the photopolymers. But the photopolymer is great in the way that you can see all the way through it and know where you're stamping. So, it's a trade-off. Okay, so now I'm just looking down through the top and I'm lining it up with that edge. So there's our first one. Then I'm going to come over here and do the other one. And don't be afraid to turn your paper. I know we all are kind of accustomed to working like straight on, but it's a whole lot easier if you turn things so that you can line things up with your eyesight better. That's especially true when you're fussy cutting. When you're fussy cutting something out and you have your scissors, this way, and then you try to go around like this, that hurts your arm. But if you just keep them in the position where they belong and you turn the paper, it's far easier. Okay. So I'm going to put these darker colors away because we're going to pull out Daffodil Delight. And I said we were going to work on the little one, but I actually started stamping the larger one. So we are going to be doing the die cut windmill on top of this. Okay, so now I'm just going to try to center it between the purple and the red. Dog's being a little weird back there. I was trying to figure out what was going on. She's just being weird. Pixie is rolling around in Sophie's bed. She's not liking it. Okay, so like I said, we're using the die cuts out of here. Now this was our base of our windmill. And so I did that in crumb cake. And then there's the detailed part that goes right over the top of it. And that's going to be this one here. And looking at it, I thought, wow, that's really detailed. I don't really want to glue that with glue. So I went ahead and put the adhesive sheet on the back. So mine's going to be a sticker. I suppose, if you had to, you can put your glue behind the bigger pieces. You'd be good. But I did adhesive sheets. I also did adhesive sheets on my little fences that are going to go behind my windmill. Okay, you'll notice there's little tiny dots in the middle. Poke those out. Did anybody do anything fun for New Year's? I think my husband and I went to bed right about midnight. Just made sure the neighbors didn't catch the house on fire, and then we went to bed. Hi, Pam. Happy Monday. I love Mondays. It's like a fresh start, and we have a fresh start, beginning of a week, beginning of a year. We're like all excited. I love fresh starts. Okay, so I have those. Now we can do the sky two different ways. I did it the first time using our blending brushes with a mask. And this was just a die that I had at some point. I think the Basic Borders dies has something similar, not quite as detailed, but it would still work as clouds. I cut it out of this is the backing of one of our designer series papers, and then just used that as a mask. And then I brushed on the top of it. We also have die cuts in here where we could stamp and cut out the clouds. And then there's the stamps in here. So there's lots of different ways we could do that. Watching TV, that's what we did. Yep. My dad always called it amateur night. He was a big drinker, and he thought everybody out on New Year's Eve was amateurs, and they certainly didn't know how to drink or drive. The 50s, what can I say? Okay, so while you're in here, don't forget that you want to put in the hashtag prize patrol in order to be considered for the prize that I'm going to be drawing at the end, which could include this card. So put that in our comments to make sure you're included. Go ahead and stick the fence down. And I'm just using the pointy end of my take your pick tool to poke the adhesive sheet on the back to reveal the sticky part. Okay, so sorry, these are taking a little while. They're kind of teeny tiny. Okay, so now I've got my fences down. Now these, you'll notice they have a little hole in the middle of the top of this, and then there's also a hole in the blades for the windmill. And what that means is that you could put one of our brads in there and make it so this spins on your card. It would be interactive. But I'm just going to go ahead and stick it down stationary with a glue dot, or not a glue dot, a dimensional. Okay, so to line this up, I'm kind of keeping it up at an angle, and I'm matching the 3 points on my triangle and then letting it fall down to the bottom. So I'm all lined up, and then that's going to go right here, and then this is going to go on top of it. But like I said, we need those clouds. So the fences are soft suede. This is crumb cake, and this is early espresso. Okay. There's my mini dimensionals. And you'll notice I didn't take the little hole out of the middle. I left it in there because otherwise the white from our dimensional will show through. And I didn't necessarily want that. Let's see. Yeah. I used basic gray for that, and as I'm looking at it, I probably should have used smoky slate. It would have been a little more subtle. Now the trick to using the blending brushes is to start off and swirl on. And then that's going to go right in the middle. So who's excited to order tomorrow out of our new catalog? I know last week I used the gumball machine, and today we're using the windmills. I think next week I'm going to use our Valentine's set, Candy Hearts. Oh, Sweet Conversations, but it is Candy Hearts. Okay. So there's our layer for the front. Then we just need our base. This is Stampin' Seal. You don't need much. I only put a little bit in the 4 corners. If you can see. But just like, you know, an inch in each of the 4 corners, and it's going to stick. And I have not had it like, you know, roll up on me like some people have said. And I just make sure that I'm snapping it a little, you know, or checking it off, something so that it's breaking at the tip up here. That's the key, is to get the seal to break off up here. Then we have the inside layer. Now, remember when I said I stamped the other one upside down? Well, I didn't want to really throw it away. It was still pretty. So what I did is I cut it into strips. And that's the one I used on the inside of my cards, was just that goof that I had made. So remember I said I stamped it upside down? So I just cut it into strips. And it actually came out kind of pretty. I think I like it. But there's also our big long row of tulips that you can use. Not this one, the other one. It's here somewhere. I know it is. Let's do purple this time. So this is Highland Heather. Hey, you guys, stop. Oops. So just a little accent on the bottom. I'm going to swirl just a little bit of blue on the top, just kind of what's left on my brush. And then I needed a sentiment. Now this set does not come with sentiments. It's all images. So I went through my stamps and pulled out something and found a phrase in it, and it says miles apart, but still in my heart. And I just thought that kind of went with, you know, the whole Holland look here, because this would be miles apart from my house. Here we go. And I have that on a stamp or on a block. So sorry. Yeah, they're back there arguing over the beds. The little dog likes to sleep in the bigger bed. So there we go. There's card 1. Now the second one's very similar. I'm just kind of turning it on its side. But it's going to be the same idea. And you guys know this part, right? That in order to put the photopolymers onto a block and have them end up the way they're supposed to, I throw it down on the table and I use the block to pick it up. Because sometimes if I was to take the stamp and I come over here, there's the chance I could lay it down a little bit crooked. But if I just let it lay on the table and fall into its own shape, or maybe even line it up with one of the grids, and then I pick it up with the block, then we know it's straight. So just a thought. Because my whole goal with this is to make things easy for you guys. I do stamp the back of my cards. My husband has a laser machine, and he was able to stamp me or cut me out a stamp with my logo on it. So I usually put that on the back. If you're interested in those, he makes them, and the website's queenbeecreations.com. My blog is .net, and his laser stuff and my finished cards are .com. Okay, so this one I'm going to start a little higher up because my windmill is not as tall. And because, it's kind of odd to try to precisely end up all the points exactly the same, the windmill is a great thing to cover it up. Okay. This one. So again, I did the straight one first. I'm going to take the same color and run it straight down the middle. Now, it doesn't have to be the same color. I just had only pulled 3, so that's what I did. Then I'm going to clean it off with the Simply Chamois. This is just water. Highland Heather. Sorry, that made a little noise, but I wanted to make sure it was good and clean because now we're going to go to yellow. And since that's a really light color, I don't want any purple or red in my yellow pad. Oops, come on. I've got a little something right there. I'm not sure what that is, but this is a sand eraser. Well, I can't go too hard with it because I don't want to rip the paper, but I can use it to a little bit take that off. And I just got this on Amazon or, any art store. It doesn't work on big boo-boos, but little ones it helps. Okay, and I've got my cloud stencil. We'll do this one the other way. And then, I know I had my windmill out. I showed it to you guys. And I promptly buried it on my desk, right? There we go. And I can put it on there just, without coloring, and it does look fine. I chose to color it just using gray granite. I wanted it to have a little something, but not be too overbearing. And so I'm taking the dark and I'm just highlighting over where the artist had put in the shadows. And then I'm going to come fill in with the light. And I don't know why, but I thought the door needed to be red. I don't know if they do make colored doors on windmills or not, but Thought a little pop of color always helps, right? And then I was going to pop this on dimensionals, and again, my minis were the perfect size. So keep popping out of my way. And I'm just setting them on there with the flat side here. And I don't know, but I think if I spun it the other way, it might hang over a little bit. I don't know, but I don't want it to, so I'm doing my best to make sure that it stays behind the windmill. I've got our balmy blue card base. Then we need to do the inside. Let's see. Let's see, how am I going to do this? I want a little bit of green along the bottom, and I don't know if this will not be enough because of that point, or if I can come in this way. There we go. Then I'm going to bring in my windmill again, and we're going to put that down on the flat spot in early espresso. Thank you. It helps that Stampin' Up! Gives us beautiful things to work with. I often say that I'm not an artist, I'm a crafter. So the fact that these are all stamps instead of my having to draw with pens is a very good thing. And the sentiment is here. Oops. See, I don't know. The clouds look funny in blue. I know the sky's blue and the clouds are up there, but I don't know. Blue clouds look funny to me, but there we go. There's the inside of our card. So now we've done 2 of them. Does anyone have any questions? Like I said, next week I'm going to be working with the Sweet Conversations stamp set and doing something Valentine's, but it's not only going to be a set for Valentine's Day. I want you guys to know that we can also use this for anniversary, for love, for thinking of you. It has many more uses than just Valentine's Day. I don't buy things that are only good for, one day out of the whole year. I try to buy things that will allow me to reuse them. And tomorrow, the new catalog goes live. They're going to put it online tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you're one of those up in the middle of the night kind of people and you feel like shopping, you can. The rest of us will be up at 8. And they're also running a special that if you wanted to start your own business in Stampin' Up, or you wanted to be a happy shopper and get that happy shopper discount, tomorrow is a good day for that as well. In that Stampin' Up is running a special that if you were to sign up as a new demonstrator, tomorrow you would keep your discount all the way through the end of June before you would go pending, and then you would have July to make it up. Because in your first full quarter, Stampin' Up wants you to sell $300 worth of product. But they realize you can't do that in a partial quarter. So even though we're only a couple days into this quarter does not count. So you would keep your discount all the way through the end of July, which actually gets you early in on being able to see and shop out of the annual catalog and out of our mini for July to December, because as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, you get to buy out of those a month early. So lots of exciting stuff coming up. Of course, I'm here for any questions you might have. If you wanted to play around with some stamps, ink, and paper, that's what I'm here for. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you right back here next Monday at 2:30 for another card. Thanks. Bye.